Welcome to a Week 12 Giants Hangout brought to you by Crestron. Madeline Burke, joined as always by Russ Salzberg, Brandon London, and Jonathan Casillas. And guys, before we get into Week 12, we got to recap Week 11. Giants, Packers, a tough loss at home, but it was Mike Kafka's debut as interim head coach. JC, what was your immediate reaction to that?
Well, look, I think the approach to the game, I love the approach to the game. They wanted to establish a physical presence, which they really did. I mean, they had 38 runs on the day. Wasn't a great average, but that's the thing. They stuck to the run the entire game. They came out running the ball in the first drive. They were physical. They established a physical presence. The Jameis Winston show was pretty much what we thought it would be, right? At times, he was very accurate, and sometimes he put the ball into the other team's hands. Luckily, the Green Bay Packers can't catch that well. I think that definitely helped the Giants out a little bit. But I love the physical and the aggressive attack, not only on offense, but on defense as well. I think Kafka had a great game plan. And of course, it came down to the thing we talked about last week was all about finishing, and the Giants just failed to finish. But I think they put forth a good performance in terms of the physicality approach. And that Green Bay team is a very, very, very good team, a very physical, a very defensive-minded team, and I think the Giants brought it to them.
Yeah, you mentioned though the struggling to finish. Once again, can't quite get it done in the fourth quarter, Russ. When you look at the way that this game ended, what do you make of that?
Well, Madeline, I remember you asked me last week, what do the Giants have to do? And what did I say? Finish, finish, finish. And again, it's just been the inability to finish. And it's I hate, it sounds like a broken record, but that's what it is. I mean, you look at this team. I mean, for all what do we play? They played 11 games. At worst, they should be 6-5, not 2-9. And it's a result of not finishing. The one thing I just like to jump on what JC was saying, talking about Kafka. I thought Kafka did a great job. I thought he was aggressive in his play calling. But I'll tell you something else. I was impressed on Mike Kafka from the moment he took over on Wednesday as the head coach when he addressed us in the media. I thought he was very forceful, authoritative, without being a self-promoter. And that's been his style since he's been here. He was an assistant, so you didn't hear that much from him. Now he's the head guy. I think he's been aggressive, putting his stamp on it. And listen, I'm not telling anybody what they should do to hire, but I think they ought to take a serious look at maybe down the road here, removing interim from that guy's title. I think I was impressed from what I got to see.
Yeah, an impressive showing. Mike Kafka. Another change that he made too was Jameis Winston starting at quarterback. Brandon, when you look at what Jameis and the offense were able to put on the field, moving the ball downfield, what's your assessment?
They hung up 330 plus. So when you talk about Mike Kafka and what he's been able to do, I think he looked at this opportunity as you know what, we have nothing to lose with our record and him having that interim title. But I'm very impressed with that. He was able to be like me when I go shopping. I'm balling on the budget. I got a kid. I'm a Burlington Ross dress for less type guy. He was down to his third string quarterback. His third string running back scored 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Hodgins just got off the Teterboro Airport, or maybe Newark, depending on what the space situation is like. Yeah, he's Newark. That's Newark. Yeah, but they sent the car for him.
Black car.
He was able to come off the flight and lead all receivers, both Packers and Giants, in catches and yards. So the fact that they were able to run the football effectively, throw the football effectively, I was very impressed with this Giants offense and Mike Kafka in his debut.
And
Madeline,
Hodgins,
real quick,
it's familiar territory for him.
Okay, I was gonna say I love the tempo that they play with in this game. Right, they had a quick tempo, really get to the line of scrimmage. Jameis made a lot of checks, but that's when you have a veteran quarterback that understands football, that's been in this system. Of course, this is his first year. But how many years has Jameis played in the league? This is what, 10th year, 11th year in the NFL. He's played in a lot of different offenses. And you've seen him run just like he said he would do with surgical execution. And it looked like he was in this offense for years. And it was not flawless, but he got in and out the huddle. He got in and out. He threw the ball, and he made those executive decisions, those decisive decisions that we see from a veteran quarterback. And that's what I like from Kafka and Winston from this offense.
Well, and also they got the run game going, and that's something that is imperative to do in any offensive situation, but also considering against this Green Bay Packers defense, it doesn't really let running backs get going. Singletary has 2 touchdowns, Winston runs in a touchdown, but also they're running the ball up and down the field and being able to do that. How do they continue that trend in week 12? I mean, Giants going on the road to Detroit, another formidable opponent. Russ, when you look at the importance of getting that run game going and getting an early start against this Lions team, how do you keep that going?
Well, it's Madeline, and what have we always, all of us have always discussed here? Complementary football. Again, it sounds like a broken record, but it's complementary football. If you don't get a running game going, then it's going to affect your passing game. If you're not getting a passing game going, they're going to sit on a running game. So I mean,
the knee bone's connected to the hip
no,
bone,
but it is. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And in fairness, I mean, look what they were playing with last week. I mean, Brandon jumped on, or JC. I mean, we're talking about a third string quarterback, and I don't mean to belittle Jameis. We're talking about Hodgins just got in town. I mean, we're dealing with, you don't have your running back. You don't have, we know
the defensive side, the corners are banged up.
Yeah, a Debo prior to the game, all of a sudden I'm seeing him working out on a sideline, and the next thing you know, he's walking off. I mean, they were a mass unit. So it's the other thing you don't know about this Sunday is how healthy are they going to be? That's a huge question, a huge question.
Well, and to that point, too, I mean, Brandon mentioned it, balling on a budget, Mr. Burlington Co-Factory down here. Last week, they made the most with a little bit. This week, maybe getting some players back. How is that going to impact this game?
First and foremost, they took off the Co-Factory. Second, the getting these guys back, that's going to help
listen,
them.
They got more than coats there, as Brandon will tell you.
Let's just hope they're a sponsor for the Hangout going forward after this one. But getting guys back is definitely going to help, because the Giants, when you look at them, they've got they've got strength at the one position, meaning ones on ones. And then, as guys start to go down, they get a little thin when it comes to depth. So being able to play with some guys who are starters and get some starters back in the starting lineup, that's for sure going to help. But I think Mike Kafka helped with the running game with some of the quick throws that they were able to execute on first and second down as well. You saw Wan'Dale Robinson, maybe not the day that he had against the Dallas Cowboys with him getting down the field, but he was kind of an extension of the run game with the hitch here, snag route here, sit route there. So getting whichever quarterback is going to be the QB1 for this game, keeping them confident and staying ahead of the chains, you're going to have to do that, because I don't know if you play those who are watching, if you play in Detroit, it gets loud there. So you're going to have to use, one, the running game, two, an extension of the run game to stay ahead of the chains and keep the quarterback in this offense comfortable as possible.
Yeah, it gets loud. It's in a dome. And it'll get loud, especially if that Detroit offense is clicking. I mean, they've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff having himself a season. JC, where do you even start with stopping that offense?
Well, I mean,
unless you do what we saw this week with the Eagles stopping their fourth down efforts.
Yeah, I mean, 0-5 on fourth down last week against the Eagles. Dan Campbell, he's a guy that's going to go for it late. But look, Goff has had a great year this year, besides basically last week, where he looked like a rookie quarterback that didn't know how to play football. But you got to give credit to that Philadelphia Eagles defense. They had him, they had them one-dimensional. They stopped the run pretty early in the game. They were able to make stops. They were able to fluster Jared Goff, and that's, I think, the key for the Giants. Key to victory is to fluster Jared Goff. Of course, they got 2 tremendous running backs in Gibbs and Montgomery, who the Eagles did a very good job and limited them on their carries, but you have to do a good job on their weapons. They have so many weapons on offense, right? You got Jameson Williams. Of course, you talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have the tight end Sam Laporta. You also have Gibbs in the running game and in the passing game. These guys are loaded, and when they get rolling on offense, they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFC and talk about offensive output. I think the key is to get to Jared Goff. Jared Goff this year, he's had a couple of games where they got to him and they lost those games when you can get to Jared Goff and pressure him, possibly making him one-dimensional, which is going to be very hard because if you watch the Lions on film, they want to run the football with these two tremendous running backs. So get Jared Goff off the spot, make him hold the ball a little bit, and he becomes a regular quarterback. Last week, what was it, Sunday night game where we all watched Sunday night? He looked pretty horrible. I don't know if he's going to be able to replicate that again, if the Giants can make him do that. But if you can get Jared Goff to hold the ball a little bit, if you can fluster him, if you can get to him early in the game, you can have a guy who looks a little bit below average. And that's what we need because this Lions offense, when they're rolling, they're the best in the league.
Can I jump on that a second? You know, you were talking about what the Giants defense needs to do. What the biggest thing they need to do, and I know you're going to agree with this, not give up the big play.
Big plays.
That's crucial. I mean, Malik Willis came in. Madeline, you and I were sitting together. Malik Willis comes in. He runs 16 yards for a first down. And on that huge 32-yard bomb when it was 3rd and 10, I mean, I was sitting there, and on the replay, I counted 1 Mississippi. I counted 5.5 Mississippis. I mean, he was standing back there, Jordan Love was, like he could have – I could have gone and got my car washed and come back. He still would have been standing there.
And in the magic editing world of Pearson Butler, Brandon has a new background, but we are back up because it's time for What Do You Know? What Do You Say? Russ, what's the trivia this week?
Well, all right. Here we go, lady and gentlemen. Week 15 of the 2016 season, the Giants beat the Lions by the score of 17-6. That was over at MetLife Stadium. All right? Real simple. The Giants scored 2 touchdowns in that game. Who scored the 2 touchdowns? Real simple. So
Week 15 of what year?
2016.
Week 15, 2016. Madeline, why are you looking down? Do you have a cheat sheet there?
ChatGPT.
2016.
That was our first year. That was our first year, Madeline.
Yeah,
that
Brandon
was
and
my
I's
second
rookie
year.
season. I'm trying to think of who was on that roster.
This should not be very difficult for you people.
Like
OBJ
Victor
and
Cruz.
Rashad
Jennings.
Rashad
OBJ
Jennings.
is one of them. OBJ is one of them.
Orleans Darkwa.
No. And
Paul
in fact,
Perkins.
and the other guy, to all of us, I not just to the fans, to all of us, a very much a favorite to all of us.
Eli Manning.
No.
What? Victor Cruz.
Sterling Shepard.
No. Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Shepard.
Shep. Young Shep, rookie year.
All right, let's
Right. That was back when everyone called him Teeth because he was smiling so much.
All right. On the other side of the ball,
Okay.
Giants had themselves an interception. Who picked it?
An interception.
Do you know
Landon
what
Collins?
Oh,
DRC.
DRC it is.
DRC.
Boy, you guys are doing, you know, that's pretty good. You're so good. One more for you.
Okay.
Leon Hall forced a fumble on the Giants' own 5-yard line that subsequently was recovered in the end zone. Who recovered it for the Giants?
This is so crazy.
Leon Hall is throwback.
Forced a fumble in the end zone.
Olivier Vernon.
Ooh, look at you.
Oh, B. London.
Yeah, okay. I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Wow.
This is so, you know why this is
today.
so bad, guys? Because like I played in this game. Like I was in the game.
Did the Giants defense give up 50?
7.
No, then
7 points.
there you
7
go.
points,
There you go.
Madeline.
So not a memorable one for you.
Right. Oh man.
What do you know? What do you say? All right. Well, there's a lot of history between the Giants
done. Yeah.
and the Lions. 2016, bringing it back 10 seasons now. All right, let's look at a little bit of Giants versus, well, not Giants versus Lions, more New York versus Detroit.
Okay.
Got a little matchup here that producer Pearson has put together. So I'm going to need to get a vote. I'm going to give you a this or that, and you tell me which you think wins in the New York versus Detroit. Starting with Eminem versus Jay-Z.
Ooh.
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 I have to go Eminem because he had the best verse on Renegade. It was a head-to-head. It was a head-to-head. And Nas even said it. Remember on Ether, Nas said, Eminem murdered you on your
On
own.
your own. Mm-hmm.
I got to go with Eminem.
Eminem or Jay-Z, man. I'm still stuck on the Four Tops and Temptations. So you get Eminem and Jay-Z.
I gotta go Hove. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
Jay-Z, like the entirety of his career. Yes, that was a great verse, but the entirety of his career, what he's been able to do. I mean, they had a museum set up for him in Brooklyn this year. Like this man's done the most and at a high level. So
I think you got the greatest rapper of all time versus the greatest white rapper of all time. I think that's a consensus between
yeah.
everyone here. And B London, when I thought about it too, the first thing I thought about was Renegade. I did think about Renegade. And if you guys never heard Renegade, put that song on because it is hot fire. And both of them killed it. But I do give the edge to Eminem on that song. But Jay-Z, the body of work, the run that he's had, the hits that he's had, and just the lyricism and the maturity throughout the albums, man. I don't think nobody did it better than Jay-Z.
Yeah.
All right. Russ, who's your pick?
I'll go with Jay-Z just because the majority is going for it. Like I said, I'm still stuck. Give me Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye. What do you want me to tell you?
Russ, put on Renegade. Put on Renegade and just listen to it. It's maybe a little not your style, but just listen to the lyrics of these two geniuses. I'm telling you, you might have a different perspective.
Yeah, it's
I'm
lyrical.
rushing home right now to listen to it as soon as I get out of here.
All right, let's talk a little food. Detroit pizza, New York pizza. Detroit pizza is, of course, more the squares. New York style pizza, the classics. What kind of slice are you going for? Detroit style or New York style? Russ?
New York style.
Brandon.
I mean, I like a square Sicilian slice, but I'm still going with New York. I mean, end of story. It starts and stops in New York.
Same. I remember when I was a struggling model / actor in the city during my off seasons.
Oh, now he's a model.
Like
now we're getting these now we're walking down a runway. Oh my God.
So hard being pretty.
Published.
Okay.
Published. Not even IG. I was real. But I was struggling, during my Canadian off seasons. Not really. But the dollar slice, you could get a dollar slice with a Coke for like $1.25, and that'll get you right. That'll kind of hold you over for the entire day with castings and stuff. So New York pizza through and through to the end.
Get me through all my castings.
You know what's so funny? Because, of course, being a Jersey City native guy, right? Been in the city since I was a child. There's nothing like a New York pizza. But I'm pretty sure the last pizza I had was a Detroit-style pepperoni-filled pizza, and it was delicious.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I'm definitely leaning towards the New York-style pizza. Like Brandon said, as many of post New York nights where we hit the Joe's Pizza for $1 in New York City. Yeah. And I mean, you just can't replicate that. No matter what time of the day it is, you can get New York City, nice slice. Sometimes they get you $5. If you don't know, you might end up paying $5 per slice. Yep. But if you know, you can get one for $1.
Well, let me
and I mean, the Detroit squares are good. They're delicious. That hits all the
filling
time,
too.
Nothing. Yeah, but nothing quite like, getting a slice, fold it in half, first sprinkle in some crushed red pepper on it, getting a little fold going.
Garlic.
Right? Well, when you eat a slice of pizza, hat tip to Cam Scattaboo here. Are we turning our head for the pizza? Are we dominating the pizza? How is that going? I mean, Scat asked a question about the taco. How much do you turn your head for a taco?
You don't turn your head for the pizza.
Do you get the pizza up here, or do you...
So you fold the thing. You fold that thing. You dominate the pizza.
I'm
just
getting a kick out of you people talking about a dollar slice. Now I'm going to date myself. I remember when a slice was 15 cents and the square, the Sicilian, was 25 cents.
I have found 15 cents on the floor in the subway.
Yeah, 15 cents.
Darn you, inflation.
Yeah, 15 cents. Well, 15 cents used to get you on the bus and the subway too.
Oh, man.
Wow. My times have changed. All right. Detroit Red Wings or New York Rangers?
Well, the Red Wings did beat the Rangers the other day, and then the brawl broke out. Jonathan Quick got some good hits in, so I'm gonna have to go. Let's go Rangers on that one. But
Yeah. Well, from here, it's got to be
always,
the Rangers.
Yeah,
always,
I think
always.
we're pretty biased here, guys. I think we're all pretty biased.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to pick the Red Wings over the Rangers.
Yeah,
Not in this
me.
area. Not doing
No.
that.
No, yeah. We got Rangers unanimously. All right, Giants Lions 1 p.m. in Detroit this weekend. Let's get a little over-unders. Starting with the running backs. We talked about this earlier, the importance of getting that run game going. Russ, do you think there's over or under 120 total yards from the running backs? So it's rushing and receiving, 120 total scrimmage yards from the running backs.
120, you said, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
I think right around that number. You want to know the truth? Just for wishful thinking, I believe that number is going to be close. I'll go over, like just squeaking over, but I think it's right at the number.
All right.
It
Brandon?
depends on who plays. Oh, my fault. Go ahead, B.
I'm gonna go ahead and say under on this one. Defense, that Detroit defensive line is pretty solid. Plus, I think this is going to be turned into some sort of shootout. I think that they use the quick game as an extension of the run game. So that's going to take a couple carries away from some guys. So I'll go under.
We did say total yards, though, right, Madeline?
Yeah, scrimmage yards, rushing and receiving combined.
Yeah, I think they're going to go way above it. You know, I think, especially if Jameis plays quarterback, right? Because, again, if you got a different quarterback, there's a different style there. If Jackson Dart does play for the Giants this week, Dart will take some of those carries, I think, away from the Giants. But I do love the Jameis Winston style offense that's led. There are a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of run game, of course, but then also Singletary had a lot of catches. Both running backs had some catches last week, but Tracy did some good stuff in the receiving game as well. So I think the ability to run the football with Jameis and the ability for Jameis to throw the football, I think both running backs would be well over 120.
Absolutely. And you look at last week, too, what Tyrone Tracy was able to do in that passing game, like making lemonade in some situations, right? You think, after contact, he's really breaking off an extra 10, 15 yards there. And so considering it's all the running backs over under 120, I could see that. I could see that for sure.
Did I misunderstand you, Madeline? When you say all the running backs over under 120, are you talking about receiving and running?
Yeah.
And rushing?
Yep.
Oh, then then I think it's definitely going to go over.
Yeah.
I think screens and what? Yeah, I misunderstood. I thought it was just rushing.
That's okay. I should have spoken clearer, but it's also in the rundown, folks. All right, next up, speaking of, question remains, is it going to be Jameis? Is it going to be Jackson at quarterback this week? But whomever is at quarterback, over under a half of a rushing touchdown. So do we see a quarterback touchdown, Brandon?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. That's become a staple of this offense. So whether it's Jameis doing the Harlem Shake or it's Jackson Dart doing his thing, a Giants quarterback is going to score a rushing touchdown for sure.
That was awesome. I think I hear you because Jameis did have a rushing touchdown. I was going to say if Jackson Dart plays, and but Jameis had a rushing touchdown last week. So I'm going to go over as well. I think that the quarterbacks do ability to add an extra dimension and element when you get to the low red zone. And I think Kafka is the guy that understands that, and he'll put the ball in the quarterback's hands.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's over. I mean, listen, Kafka's playing aggressive. He's doing it aggressively. So, I don't think it changes now. So I say over.
Yeah, I'm taking the over also. I think that especially if we get in this short yardage situation like they did last week with Jameis, punch it in, whether it's Jameis or Jackson at quarterback. All right,
do the Harlem Shake, Madeline. Do the Harlem Shake.
No. I can't hit it. Jameis did it like he had like ants in his pants. He was getting all amongst it. It was adorable. It was precious. All right, let's talk about the defense. Can they get a takeaway? Over under half a turnover for this Giants defense. JC, what do you think?
Well, they're gonna have to against this team. This is a team where you have to steal a possession away from them because that offense, man, if they get rolling, man, this is a 500-yard, 40-point type of offense when they get rolling. That's what we've seen from the Detroit Lions over the last few years. You got to be able to steal a possession away from them. The Giants have to do that in order to stay in the game at all. You know, if they can do multiple takeaways, I think they have a chance to actually win in the game. Detroit is a very, very good team, man. And the ability to run the ball and pass the ball is like no other, but we've seen different things from them last week against the Eagles. You have to take the ball from them, so I'm going to have to go over. They will take the ball away from them at least once.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's close. I just don't know. I don't know who's playing. I want to say over, but what did you say? One?
Over or under a half?
A half?
One. Yeah.
So does it happen or doesn't it happen?
Think about this, though, Russ. Think about this, though, Russ. Who has been the consistent player on defense for the Giants?
Burns.
Burns could probably do that by himself. His ability to get to the quarterback, his ability to get to the ball. Well, I do feel like because he tips balls all the time, and that creates opportunities for balls, I think, to fly in the air a little bit.
I mean, I was thinking of Burns, but I was thinking of Burns in terms of a sack. I don't know. I was thinking of it in terms of it turning into a turnover. But wishful thinking, I'm going to go with one. We'll go with getting the over.
All right, Brandon?
I'm going to have to go over on this one. I think Brian Burns has been lights out. He's been out of control. I think it's going to be another one of those sack fumbles that he creates. Jared Goff will hold on to the football, and then, obviously the back end to hold up, but he will hold on to the football to create the big play, throw the ball down the field. Sometimes that pass rush gets lost, and I just feel like Brian Burns, that guy that comes off the edge and creates that turnover.
Let's manifest it, right? Let's get a defensive takeaway. Let's all take the over right here. Giants, Lions, week 12 in Detroit on the road, 1 p.m. kickoff. That's a wrap for our Giants Hangout, brought to you by Crestron. For Russ Salzberg, Brandon London, and Jonathan Casillas, I'm Madeline Burke. We'll see you next time.